It's the yellow sleeves Anchor hates the most. He'd run a lot of scenarios in his head once he knew they were headed to wild space. He'd considered what he thought were all the possibilities of how they'd find work here and imagined the kinds of jobs he might be doing. He'd mentally fished deep seas, his whole existence stinking of sea creatures and fresh, raw bait. He'd watched himself sweat through an environment suit, partly because of the temperatures and partly because of the danger, while mining raw bastia. He'd even hawked fermented mammoth fruit juice to riled-up crowds gathered on rooftops to watch speeder pilots risk their lives and their chop job ships in unsanctioned races around some imaginary city. But he'd never imagined, no matter how many times he'd seen himself doing this job or that one, wearing the yellow sleeves of a security man. But here he was, looking like a two-petaled flower, walking laps around this building and holding a thin-barreled blaster with a trigger that it would take all his energy to pull and too much time to recharge if he did take a shot. It's all theater, performance security. The building owners are hoping that just the presence of someone in yellow sleeves with the word security in block print down each arm will be enough to deter anyone with bad intentions. Anchor knows from experience that all his presence does is advertise there's something in this building worth protecting. That's why, in addition to the baby blaster the security company has issued him, he's also got one of his own tucked into a pocket, and another one, smaller but packing a punch, hidden in his boot. He's taken to counting the laps. It takes an hour to make 5 of them, and he's about to complete the final bunch for the day. Long shadows stretch down the street, and he dances his feet in and out of the dark to stave off the boredom. At the end of the last lap, he heads into the building's office and hands the thin-barreled blaster to the kid who makes these laps at night. He's not much older than Will, and is the 3rd different person to walk the night shift since Anchor started. It takes only a moment to give the same all's-quiet report that he gave yesterday, and the day before, and the day before, and every day since he took this job 9 months ago. Shift's over. Day is done. And he's barely out of the building before he's pulling off the yellow-sleeved shirt of a security man.